Welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to study navigation stack. So let's create a new file and maybe name it as navigation stack playground. And navigation stack is actually similar to navigation view, but this is a more improved and newer version of the navigation. It is based on data and it has more control and flexibility, and it is introduced in iOS 16. So if you have an app targeting iOS 15 or 14 or lower version, then of course you have to use the navigation view. But if your app is targeting iOS 16, then you have to use this navigation stack. So if you notice, when we were working with this navigation view, we had this warning, and we didn't look at the warning in that tutorial, but let's just see. And it says that you cannot use this navigation view navigation link like this. This is kind of deprecated for iOS 16, and rather you should use a navigation stack. So let's just see how we can convert a navigation view into a navigation stack and how we can get rid of this warning. So yeah, let's just have canvas in here, and then we can start with navigation. So have a navigation stack at the top of, and then we can have maybe a V stack for the content of our screen. So this is the content of our screen, and then if you want a simple navigation to another page, we in the navigation view we were using the nav link, so it's the same in here. First let's give this navigation a title, maybe as screen 1. In the same way we were giving the title to navigation view, we can give to navigation stack. And for nav link, we can have a navigation link, and it's actually more simple. You can just have text in here, or a title in here, which is a string form. So we can say go to screen 2, and then we can have our destination in here. So this can be a view, maybe a separate SwiftUI view that you want to go to, or for simplicity I can just type in here screen 2, because text is ultimately a view. Now if I click on this go to screen 2, I am in screen 2 and I can go back to screen 1. So this is how we were using this navigation link in navigation stack. So we can do same in here. And for our problem of the navigation link, a programmatic navigation link, we can use a state in here as well. Let's name it as user login state, and with default value of false. And yeah, we had a button in navigation view, and upon clicking the button we were just simply toggling the state of our user login. So now what we want, whenever this user logged in becomes true, we want to navigate to maybe a home screen. So we can do that, but in navigation stack you have to use this navigation destination. This is something new. So we have two methods that we can use. We will work with both of them, but first let's see this binding version of this navigation destination. So it accepts binding boolean, so we can provide our state because it's a binding, because it's a boolean. And for the destination, again we can have a separate file. If you want, you can create a new SwiftUI view, but for the simplicity I can just have a text in here that says home view. So now if I click on the login button, I will be navigated to this home view. So that's it. This is how you can convert your navigation view into your navigation stack. So I think these were the two things which we focused more in navigation view video. And you can also provide or use toolbar with navigation stack in the same way you were using before. So now let's just see how what other features this navigation stack provides. So I will first have a model in here. Let's maybe name it as a flower. It will be a struct. So I hope you are already familiar with struct if you have previously worked with Swift. So let's just have a name in here for the flower, and then maybe have a color for the flower, and then we can have a list in here. So let's have war list of flower, and with type of flower, and let's just use the init method, and maybe have tulip in here with color of maybe red, and use another maybe rose is also red, and maybe we can use another I guess sunflower maybe with color of yellow. So yeah, so these are some flowers. Now we can use list in here. We have already worked with list, and we can use for each in here, for each list of flower. For the ID, we can use the name of flower because this name will be unique, I hope. And then for the content for each flower, maybe we can have a text in here that says the name of flower, and for the foreground color we can use the flower color. So now we have our three flowers on the screen with their color, and now what we want is we want to navigate to a different screen whenever user taps on any of this flower. So we can do this by using a navigation link inside of this for each. So we can embed this into a navigation link. So I will just cut it for now and use a navigation link in here with the version where the value is actually a hashable protocol. For some reason it's not popping up, so let's try it again. Yeah, here it is. So what we want now, we want this value to conform to hashable, and for the label we can use any view. So right now our value is actually flower, and let's just conform it to hashable, and now we can use it in here. So we can provide flower as a value, and for the content we can use the same. So now we have completed only the first part. I can say like first part of navling, where we are providing the data to our navigation stack. But now we also have to provide the destination. Whenever this flower is provided to a navigation stack, then it has to decide where this flower should go with which destination. So we can go ahead and provide navigation destination in here, and you may notice that we have this navigation destination method where we can provide our hashable protocol. So we already have flower which conforms to hashable, and for the destination, for now, for the simplicity of this tutorial, I will just show the flower name, but you can have a separate detailed SwiftUI view that you can just open when you click on any of this flower. So now if I tap on the rose, I'm in a different screen, and I can go back. I can click on sunflower. I am in a second screen, and I can go back. So this is how this navigation stack can be utilized. It's like you can see the power of it. We are now, instead of working with the views, we are now working with the values. Values are like this is a kind of data that we are working instead of the views. So there is another thing we can use this navigation destination with multiple types. So let's just say we have another type in here, maybe that says fruit, and let's confirm to hashable, and let's just have a name in here for the fruit. Now we can have a list in here, so we can have list of fruits. Let's provide the type, should be fruit, and we can use the init method and provide maybe apple in here, and maybe watermelon in here. So yeah, so we have our fruits. Now what we can do, we can embed this for each in a section, and we can name this section as maybe flowers, and we can copy this again, and we can actually type, but if you want you can type, but I will just copy it for. So now we can see fruits on our screen, and now if you tap on this fruit, nothing will happen because we have not provided the destination for this fruit type. So we'll have a new destination in here, and this time for fruit, and for the destination we will simply have a new screen with the name of fruit. So now if you try this time, click on apple, you are in a new screen and you have this apple on the screen. We can go back. So this is how you can work with multiple types of hashable values. And yeah, so there is actually one more thing that we can use with this navigation stack, and that is to work with our own path. So what we can do is at the top we can declare uh, a new state. Let's name it as path, and for now let's just work with maybe fruit. So now we have this path that contains only the fruit data. So in our navigation stack we can provide our path. So now the path that this navigation stack has will be overwritten by our provided path. So we can just comment out this flower section for now, because we only want to work with this fruit. And what we can do now, everything will work same. Like if you click on apple it will work, if you click on watermelon it will work, but the only change is now your own data structure is being utilized by this navigation stack. So this gives us some power, like if we have maybe a vstack, sorry, we are working with fruits. So if we have a vstack in here, and let's just say we can create a button in here that says maybe next fruit. So now since we have the path to ourselves, so we can add a fruit in the path directly. So I can embed a new fruit in here. So let's just name it maybe banana. So now if I tap on apple, I am in a new screen, and now I have this option to go to the next fruit. So if I click on next fruit, I am now in banana. So this is how you can actually modify this path, and we can also have like we can also remove everything from this path. Like we can have another button that says go to home, and we can just remove all of our data from this path. So if now I go to watermelon, I go to maybe next fruit, next fruit, next fruit. Now I can click on go to home, and that's it. This is how simple it is to work with it. And if you are wondering how to sport or how to use this path with multiple values, then you can just use the default, and that is called navigation path. So now we have this navigation path. Now of course some of these things will not work because this path now cannot accept, because this is, we cannot use this in it, because this is not actually uh, this path has a different type than the fruit. So instead we have to use like we can use a hashable type. So we have to type the fruit instead of the init, because init method is used when we have a confirmed type. So right now this can be anything that conforms to hashable, so we have to use the fruit in here, and with the name let's just have banana. And in the same way you can actually add another hashable type to this path, like maybe you can add flower in here, and with color maybe some flower, and either this any color. So now if I click on, let's just resume our preview. So in this way you can add anything to this path that conforms to hashable protocol. So if I click on next route, now first I'm seeing this sunflower because this was the recent value added into our path. Now if I click back, I will see this banana because this was the first value added to our path. Now if I click back, now this is the screen that I came to after clicking this watermelon. So this is how you can actually work with navigation stack, and I must say it's a very powerful feature to work with. So that's it from this video. See you in the next one.